What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be cam swapping my 99 Sierra. So for those of you guys that are new to my channel, this is my 99 GMC Sierra with a 5.3. Currently for mods, I've got NNBS intake, 92mm throttle body, some eBay long tubes with an off-road Y pipe and a hooker muffler. I got a 4080 swap in this with a 3000 stall converter. Today I'm going to be installing a Isky cams HR637, which is a small cam, probably like a maybe stage 1, stage 2-ish, if they label them as stages. This is a cam that I got for free from my friend Randy a few years ago, and I've just had it sitting on the shelf, so I decided to throw it in there. So this is what you'll need. You're going to need a tool to compress valve springs. You're going to need one of these little rubber guys right here so you can put compressed air in the cylinder to keep the valve shut. That way you don't drop the valve down in the cylinder. I'm doing this small cam, so I'm just going to be using these like LS6 plus beehive springs. The first thing you're going to want to do is start taking apart the front of the engine, get your air intake out of the way. This truck's converted to electric fans, so I don't have a mechanical fan on here, but the whole radiator with the hoses is going to have to come out. The fan shroud, all of that's got to come out. The water pump's got to come out to get access to the cam. Valve covers are going to have to come off. Spark plugs are going to have to come off. Okay, so we're making some progress here. We already got the water pump off. Got the coil packs and the valve cover off the passenger side. The next thing you got to do is pop off all these rocker arm bolts and lift this tray out. All the rocker arms will come out with that tray. Up here the fan shroud's gotta, well, the radiator's gotta come out next, and then we could take off the dampener and the front timing cover. Alright, so once we got these rockers out, you're going to get your valve spring compressor tool and set it up here. I shoved this little blue rag in here in case the keepers decide to fall. I have a chance of getting them before they fall down into the oil pan. You're going to put your compression tester hose in the cylinder. You got to take your spark plug out. Gonna go ahead and get some compressed air in the cylinder. This is gonna help keep your valves up against the valve seat. Then go ahead and compress this guy. This guy's spinning on me, so I'm gonna have to get, oh no, there we go. All right.
Was it 13, right?
No, oh yeah, 13. But I need the Allen key that goes in here. You got Allen keys? I won't be able to use this because the whole stud's spinning. I gotta hold the stud.
It'll stop spinning eventually. You're screwing it in, right?
Yeah, but this thing's like galled up. I don't want it to get down there. dokie. This is not working. This is not working.
Oh. Take the hose out. I think this Mako one has like a Schrader valve in it. You gotta take out to put air in.
I'm gonna have to back this out.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so if you got a hose like this one that has a Schrader valve in it, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, there you go. You're gonna have to take that out in order to put compressed air in the cylinders. I'm gonna get that out right now and then come back to this. All right, let's try that again. See now, no valve in there.
I said it worked that time.
Yeah. Yeah. I need that screwdriver you were telling me about. Uh-oh.
Dropped them.
No, it's still there, but it's almost fallen.
Here. These two.
Okay, once you get these little keepers out, you can back this thing off. Get your valve spring out. We're going to reuse these same retainers, but we're changing out the valve springs. Alright, so these are the valve springs we're putting on. These are Comp Cam LS6 Plus springs. These springs are rated for, I believe, 599 lift. And the cam we're putting on here is a 561 lift. But it should be alright. Now you pretty much just do what we just did, but in reverse. Compress this guy down there so you can expose the valve. Slide these keepers in there. pull your tool out, and that's pretty much it. Just got to repeat that, you know, a whole bunch of more times, and that's all there is to the valve spring swap. So as you can see, we got the dampener off already. We used this harmonic balancer removal tool specific for LS dampeners, OTC part number 6667. This thing made quick work of that. We took it out with a 3/8 ratchet. Gonna keep making some progress. So once you get all the valve springs done, it takes a while. You gotta go one by one, probably be on that mission for a couple hours. Next thing you gotta do is get the front cover off, turn over the motor to line up the marks. There's a mark on the can gear and a mark on the crank gear. You gotta line them up to each other. That's top dead center. Once you get the cam gears points of reference lined up, your next step is going to be to remove this cam retainer plate right here, so you can gain access to these oiling channels, which is where you're going to put your 5/16 dowel through to keep the lifters in the up position so they don't fall down. I'm about to pull this off right now and then get started on that. Now you're going to want to put these water pump bolts into the cam so you have something to grab it by. These things help you be able to spin it so you can go get in the lifter stuck in the top position. As you go rotating it, you'll hear it locking the lifters up. Eventually it'll feel like they're all stuck up there. We're gonna get some wooden dowels and run through these holes to keep the lifters stuck up in the trays. So you're gonna slide this wooden rod in here. If the lifters are not in the up position, you won't be able to get this thing in. So one side, and then the other side. Alright, once you got these guys in there, it's time to start pulling the cam. You're gonna want to lubricate the camshaft with something. This one has a bunch of motor oil on it.
We had trouble getting it in because of how hot it is. So it gets to a point where it's just let it cool off in the shade.
Putting on some gloves because I had this thing on a table out here in the sun and it is freaking hot. Once you get around here, you're gonna want to put the water pump bolts back in. That way you have something to hold on to. Alright, once you got it all the way in, you could go ahead and pull these dowel rods out. Now the cam retainer plate is going to have to go back on. You could either replace that or use the old one. I chose to replace it because it's cheap, and the back of the plate has a gasket on it that regulates oil pressure in the engine, so I got a new one for this. It's a Melling part number MF127, and it brings the plate with new hardware. See, this is the gasket on the back of it. The one that I just took off, this little O-ring is completely flat. You can't feel it at all, so good idea to replace it. This is the new style. It uses these countersunk bolts. Once you get that plate on, you're gonna get your cam gear back in here. You gotta line up these dots. I'm not gonna be able to show this to you, it's very hard to see, but pretty much this tooth with this tooth that has the mark. And then you gotta tighten these guys down. I haven't done so yet. I'm just using the Milwaukee Impact. I'm not even following torque spec, but you guys do whatever you want. Once you got this tight, the next step is to put the timing cover back on and pretty much start putting everything back together how we took it apart. So you're gonna go ahead and drop the push rods down back in there, sit the rack with all the rockers, pretty much snug down all the bolts, and then you torque them down to 22 foot-pounds. There's no specific order you got to do it in. It's all hydraulic and it doesn't matter. So just go ahead and run them all down, then torque all the bolts to 22 foot-pounds. So you're gonna want to heat that thing up real hot. It's gonna make the metal expand so you can slide it over the snout of the crank. Got some shiny red guys over here, you see that? Looks pretty good. We're in the process of putting everything back together. Should have first start here probably within an hour. Here's an update on the progress. I got almost everything back together. Got the valve covers on, coil packs back on, water pumps on. I went ahead and plumbed this catch can. I didn't have this on there before. So I got the fitting to adapt there from the oil cap and the other one from the PCV. I eliminated the PCV back here. Ran this to the catch can. Put a plug on the top of the intake where the PCV used to go. Radiators back in. Almost ready to start this. Just gotta do the coolant lines, connect the wiring to the fan relay, and put the intake pipe back on, and should be able to fire it up. Okay, so it's all back together. Just finished topping off the water, and we're gonna go ahead and try to start this thing for the first time. You set the camera up over here somewhere. Let's see. Close the hood. So that's all there is to it. The truck's back up and running. I gotta get the tune corrected, and to be honest, you don't really hear this thing lope that much because I have this Chinese throttle body that whistles through the idle air control valve, and it's loud enough to where it, you know, overtakes my exhaust note. That's just a characteristic of this throttle body. The truck's always done it ever since I put it on. That's all there is to it. If you guys got any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll try to get back to it. If you like the video, hit the like. If you like my content, hit the subscribe. I really appreciate it. That's gonna be it. Peace.